Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Game Chat. I'm Chris, and with me today we have Grant.
Hello.
And we have Henry.
Hello.
And we, last week, were at EGX 2022. So we're going to spend this whole episode talking about EGX in general and whether it was good or not. And the games we played there and what we liked, what we didn't like. So, starting off, in general, EGX, we'll go to Grant first because you were only there for a day.
I was, yes.
What were your overall thoughts?
It was my first time going to EGX as well, so I didn't really go in knowing what to expect other than what you said about last year being an inflatable Fall Guys side and nothing else. So
I mean, that is very true.
it was good. It was nice that especially going on the Sunday where I imagine the Saturday was a lot busier.
Yes, it was.
A lot of the smaller games I didn't really have to queue for. It was kind of I could just sit down and jump on, which was nice. And so that was not a lot of waiting around, which I imagine can get quite boring if you're just in queues for hours to play a 5-minute demo of indie game 4 or whatever.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like, to be fair, the only day that I felt was massive queues was Saturday.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The others weren't too bad at all.
The other days were pretty good. Henry, what are your overall thoughts on the show? Like, compared to last year and previous years that you've been to, if you've been to previous years, I can't remember.
I mean, I went to last year's one, and obviously that was quite limited at being, first time back from COVID. I felt like this year hasn't quite gotten over that.
Yeah, it's kind of like on the road to recovery, I guess.
Yeah, because you only had I think 4 AAA games there at all. We had Sonic, we had was it Wolong?
Street
Fighter, and COD.
Yeah, they were the 4 big ones. To be fair,
and TikTok.
Of course.
I think it's funny that TikTok get their own stand.
They had a huge stand as well. They had almost the biggest stand.
They had a lot of the bigger games as well on there as well, which was weird.
Like Street Fighter.
Yeah, and Sonic. Yeah. It was better than last year. It's nowhere near as big and as good as the years previous. Because I've been going since I say 2017, maybe 16. I can't remember now. But it's definitely been bigger and better. But I mean, it makes sense. They're on the COVID isn't fully gone yet, I guess. They're slowly building back up. You'd hope next year maybe they get it was missing the big the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and Nintendo were there with Splatoon, which is fine because that's out now. But they've got games coming up that you would have thought maybe would have been there. Like Mario Rabbids for one.
Or I was thinking, but even at the Pokemon World Tournament event a couple of weeks before, they didn't have any Scarlet Violet stuff there, so I assume there isn't a Scarlet Violet demo. So I guess Splatoon is their only lead IP because I guess with Rayman it's a DLC, isn't it? With
Rabbids is coming out. Mario, if you're on about the DLC for Mario Rabbids, that's coming out. Mario Rabbids is coming out in October.
I'm pretty sure Mario Rabbids as well is published by Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft, and they weren't there, to be fair. Yeah, that's very true.
So I think, and Splatoon has only just come out, and it's quite a good one. You can get lots of people on, whereas Nintendo sort of specializes in that single player.
Yeah, they did have a little side thing, but I didn't see what was on there.
That was just sort of free to play any game. So they had Arceus on there, Smash Bros, Mario Kart, classics.
Sure.
Come and play on a Switch for a bit.
Fair enough. It was missing a big presence from the big 3, I guess. But you'd hope in the future they'll come back eventually. But I suppose it's developers not being able, not with a lot of them working from home and stuff. It's not being able to put the resources into making demos. Maybe that's my guess.
I mean, it can take away from the time. It can take away from precious development time.
Yeah, especially when everyone's getting delayed anyway. Like,
yeah. Like I know, I remember reading something earlier about Alan Wake 2. Like Remedy was supposed to show it off this summer again, but they said no, we'd rather just go with the momentum.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I mean, in terms of the big events, like Sony is just splitting away from.
Yeah, they don't tend to do anything much.
No, like I remember going to EGX in 2013. I got to try a PS4 right before it came out. That was amazing. But these days, they're just like they weren't at Gamescom either, but Xbox were, but then Xbox weren't here.
Yeah, that is weird to me. Like Xbox were at Gamescom, which was like a few weeks ago, and then they were like, "No, we're not going to go to EGX."
Yeah.
But then did they have to all fly everything back out to Japan for Tokyo Game Show?
But they did, to be fair. Yeah, I suppose they're just picking shows on size and scope, I guess.
Yeah, because I know, and I don't know about you two, but I don't remember anything from E3. Like, I don't remember E3 having a presence. Was that when they announced Tears of the Kingdom? Was that at E3?
E3
no, that was
a
direct
this year.
That was a Nintendo Direct.
That's why I don't remember it.
Yeah. E3 it wasn't in public. It was like was it online? It was the Keighley.
That was
it was Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, there was Summer Games Fest. E3 was online only last year, if I remember right. So
yeah, it's back next year like apparently.
Game shows are sort of falling. Everyone seems to like. It's all the time. It's sort of here's Nintendo Direct or here's a special feature on like the Final Fantasy 20th. For 7, and then it was the 20th Kingdom Hearts anniversary. They all had their own separate things.
Like everyone wants a slice of the pie,
Yeah, that's it. Since when COVID came around, everyone thought, "Oh, we'll do our own thing," and it actually turned out they did it pretty well. Generally, for the most part, pretty well. And then they've kind of thought, "That's cheaper." That's my guess. That's a lot cheaper than doing all of this. And then they just kind of veered in their own direction.
Yeah, and I feel going to EGX for one day, I feel like maybe 2 days would have been better, but I don't know how you filled 4 days there.
I spread everything out for me. Like I literally just I knew what I wanted. I had a list of stuff I wanted to play, and I was like, I'm not going to do it all in one day because then I'll be bored for 3 days. I could have if I wanted to, but I was like, no, I'm just going to spread it out. It means I'm there for 4 days. Make it less stressful.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, for me, the 4 days. I mean, I had games to preview, and I also had the the networking and the socializing element of it.
Getting stuck in a lift, also, Henry. Yeah, don't forget that.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
I did.
Unlike the lift.
God. Look, we were idiots, all right. There was like a panel on the side which didn't have the one button on it. It had a key that you could turn.
Oh no.
But then we realised someone else was blocking the other panel and didn't even know. So we got stuck for not that long, but long enough.
Long enough that you were stuck.
For like a minute. Maybe 5. I know, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Some say you're still there to this day.
I've rehomed it, as you can see. Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, like you say, it's been a while since I've had the big presence there. Like I remember PlayStation having a big presence when PSVR came out, and I'm kind of hoping next year with PSVR 2 they might come back if they because there's a rumours they're going to do a March EGX in Birmingham. They cancelled that last year because of COVID.
So it's EGX Res, isn't it?
But they changed it to like just calling it Birmingham, and it was going to have indies and AAA. But then they cancelled that last year because of a second wave of COVID or whatever.
That was this March, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this year. Yeah. They cancelled that this year. They said they were going to move it into next year, but they haven't given the dates for that. They've given the dates for London though, which is weird. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, ReedPop have been sort of falling it all back because they don't have the MCM in March or in Manchester anymore.
Yeah,
so
maybe they're
ReedPop have been focusing their energy onto bigger ones, but then you'd think this EGX would have been like it had a lot of space, but they could have done more in that space.
Yeah, I will say this: ReedPop are the ones hosting E3. They're the ones organising it next year.
They recently brought it out, didn't they? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Well, they've just put out the details as well. So they said like there's going to be specific press and consumer days.
Yeah, and then because they said the shows are going to be like a few days before, and then it's open, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Which I think is a better way of doing it. So then you don't lose a day being like, oh, I want to queue up to be having a seat at the PlayStation conference. You can then go around and you know what you're looking for, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I just hope because obviously in the grand scheme of things, to ReedPop, EGX is probably one of the smaller shows compared to the rest of their gaming shows because they also own PAX, right?
Yes, they do.
They do, but I think in terms of, I mean, that's always been American based.
Yeah.
So to have a UK one makes sense.
Yeah, in terms of the world though,
fair. Okay.
What was that? Sorry.
They do PAX Australia as well.
Oh, okay, so in terms of the world, they probably see PAX as a bigger show than EGX.
Yeah, that much.
They probably prioritize stuff like that, and then
I think that they're very American because I think it's New York Comic Con they own, I think as well.
They also do Star Wars Celebration for next year. They literally do everything these days.
Well, they own Gamer Network as well, so they own Eurogamer and all that who I've written for. So
well, it makes sense with it being EGX, Eurogamer,
and then they owned the outside Xbox as well, and that's why they do their live D&D at MCM and EGX.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just kind of hope it can grow. I mean, I remember they did put out a little bit of an apology beforehand, saying we haven't got everything we could have got or wanted to get, but we tried our best, kind of thing. They put that little message on their Twitter.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, this was a couple of days before. But as soon as that happened, as soon as that happened, I was like, well, we're not getting any more big ones then, any more big games announced. And then we didn't.
If you bought your 4-day ticket and been like, the show's not going to be up to scratch.
We had fun though, so it was fine. I'm just hoping it gets better next year.
There was a lot of PC building stuff as well.
Yeah.
There was I can't remember. Is it Razer? Was it?
No, wasn't Razer. It was
I can't remember.
I don't think it was Razer. It was the other one that I can't remember the name of. I'm not a big PC guy, so I don't.
No, I'm not a PC guy, but I saw they had an Evangelion PC, and I was like, oh, maybe.
I did see that. They did have a lot of different stands that weren't games.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot in that custom PC kind of area, but I don't know about you, Henry, but I know me and Chris are definitely console gamers, having watched Chris pick up a mouse and keyboard for I think one game and struggle.
I do struggle. If it's not an RTS, I don't know how to play it on PC. I'm sorry.
That's perfectly fair. Yeah. No, I mean, I pretty much have all the systems, and I've got, for work purposes, I have a gaming PC as well. So but I still use controller more often than not.
Speaking of PC, they did have the Steam Deck there, which is interesting to try. I tried that.
Is that not out yet?
It is, but it's hard to get a pre-order. So it's I was actually quite excited to try it. I tried Elden Ring on it. It felt nice. It's a bit big for my liking though, the Steam Deck.
It is chunky, yeah.
It is quite wide. But it runs stuff super well. And just the fact that it's running Elden Ring from the console itself and it's a handheld is wild.
Oh, so it's not cloud based?
No, not at all.
You can do cloud stuff on it if you put it on there, but it plays it off the actual system, which is wild considering Elden Ring can stutter on some of the the Xbox Series S. So, and it wasn't stuttering on the Steam Deck, which is just wild that they got that much technology in there. I guess that's why it's big.
And I think that's what holds the Switch back that little bit. It's when they announced Resident Evil 8, I was like, ooh, interesting. It's cloud version. I was like, I have no interest anymore.
Yeah, there it is. There's the kicker.
It has kind of made me want a Steam Deck, but I don't know what pre-orders are like these days, and I might wait for the second iteration because they're bound to do another one.
Yeah, without question. Yeah.
But we'll move on to the big games.
Sure.
The few that were there.
House Flipper 2, biggest game of the show.
That was there. Sam loved it. Sam was the only one who loved it. Everyone else we played it with him were like, it's alright. Not our thing. Though.
I didn't get a chance to play it, but it felt like that was the weird one to have such a big present because it was on all the tickets as well. You had to get every single different day pass to get all the different furniture DLCs.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I knew it was on the press ones. I didn't see it was on every one.
Yes, I have an exclusive table and chair on my Sunday pass. If anyone's looking as a House Flipper fan, leave it in the comments.
I'm sure Sam will contact you. He loves it. But yeah, we'll talk about Sonic, the biggest one there, basically, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely the biggest.
Yeah, I'd say
yeah.
I'd say it's tied though with. I would have said it was tied with Street Fighter. If Street Fighter was actually like properly advertised across the place.
Yeah. It didn't really have much of a stand, did it?
I was surprised when I walked past and saw, oh, they're playing Street Fighter. I'll have a go at that. Whereas Sonic had the big booth. And it was like,
Sonic, you knew where it was.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's very true. But yeah, Sonic was the big booth. Had like I didn't count how many TVs, but it had a lot. Like there were a lot of stations.
Yeah, there were quite a few, but rightly so.
Yeah, it made it quite a good. Like I don't only there on the Sunday, so I don't know what the other queue times were like, but it was quite a quick queue to get round. Like I went there first thing, and I think I waited about half an hour the first time, and then it got shorter. So
yeah, and you got in the queue again, didn't you? Because I played the first day and I played that.
Yeah, I
Sunday
played it twice on the Sunday because I got a bit distracted by, as we'll get into in a minute with the main game. There was something weird to happen.
Yeah.
And it made me not go into as much of the demo as I would have wanted.
Yeah. Speaking of demo, when I first played it, I had some weird takes from it because I think the rumor is there was apparently an issue with a few of the demos, like because mine was stuttering all over the place the first time I played it, performance-wise. Like frames were dropping everywhere, and then on Sunday, the second time I played it, it run like smooth as anything. Like
it could just be the PC that was being used. I guess.
Yeah. But like, it was. I heard a rumor there was like a memory leak in some of the demos, so then if you played it later in the day, it would be worse. Which was a strange thing to hear. But I was like, okay, kind of makes sense, I guess, because I did play it later in the day the first time, and then very early on on the Sunday, so I don't know whether that is actually true. But
the thing is, I can't say I heard anything about it though.
Yeah, but I don't know. But like in terms of like, I thought my first initial take was it doesn't look great necessarily, graphics-wise.
I think it looks weird because Sonic looks like you expect Sonic to look. He's very computer, very blue. I'm Sonic.
Very cartoony, sort of, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas everything else was that kind of, we could make this a realistic if we tried that little bit harder. And so it makes Sonic stand out that bit because he's very much not real
in some of the cutscenes.
To some of the environment.
It's a tonal clash.
Yeah. In some of the cutscenes, it kind of felt like he was kind of like copied and pasted onto the background, which is a bit weird. But like, and when in I think the first cutscenes, it's raining as well. And that didn't look good, in my opinion.
No.
And the grass didn't look great, but cutscenes. I mean, it's early build, I guess. So
early-ish, but it's out in
it's out in November.
November.
Yeah, it's not long now.
It might be one I pick up around Christmas, but I'm not going to rush out to pick it up on release day.
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot. Well, I know a lot of people who won't either because God of War 2 is out the next day. So yeah, I definitely won't.
Speedrun. Sonic in a day.
But in terms of like the game in general, especially when I played it again as well, when it was running better, I found the gameplay quite fun. Like I found it.
It was just weird because Sonic is really fast and a bit awkward to control at times with his speed, and it's just kind of like, here we are in a platforming RPG, and it just didn't quite fit. I found it especially really weird when it was like, you need to collect these things to help Sonic's skill tree. I'm like, why?
See, I kind of liked it. It's very different. I liked the weirdness. I like that there was like, this is weird for Sonic, but you know what? Let's go with it. They're rolling with it.
I feel like that's Sonic's jam for the last few years, though. It's like, this is weird for Sonic.
Yeah, but this is the weird for Sonic that I feel like might actually work. It's like people will say, like Breath of the Wild, when that first got shown, that's weird for Zelda. I feel like this. I don't think it's going to be quite as big.
Assassin's Creed game. That is my hot take for this podcast.
Henry's there like, oh no.
Disgusted, to be honest.
But not wrong.
I'll be honest though. When I played Frontiers at Gamescom, I know like Breath of the Wild is the obvious comparison. Yeah. It did not feel like Breath of the Wild to me at all.
You saying like that's the obvious comparison? I didn't think that at all.
Well, a lot of people were bigging up because like the big old open worlds and that, or open zone as they're calling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, a lot of people made that comparison. I just didn't see it.
I see it. I like that it's more open world.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that goes in terms of Sonic, because again, he doesn't strike me as the character who needs to be running around an open world.
I guess, but it kind of gives you the freedom to run wherever you want and stuff. So let's like.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know if it counts in the same way, but Sonic Adventure, like the first one, you know, you would run around essentially a sort of open world between missions. So
yeah,
it's not like this is the first time it's happened. It's just on a much bigger scale.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I liked the little like rails and stuff that you could go on as you're going on your way through to where you gotta go. But like my one issue with them is they feel so out of place for the world because it's all grassy and stuff, and they're like metal grinding rails, and I'm like,
again, it's that tonal shift of let me climb this ruin on a big bouncy balloon.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. Like, but I was kind of into how weird it was. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of like someone was making an open world game, and partway through development, someone came in and be like, "This is Sonic now."
It's an odd one.
You know at the start when they gave you the option of normal mode or speed mode or whatever it was. I can't remember the exact wording. What did you choose?
Each time I tried it different, and I didn't notice a difference.
See, when I played the demo the first time, I picked normal, and it didn't run well. So I don't know whether that was part of the reason. But then I chose speed mode the second time, and it felt really good, like gameplay wise. Like I felt faster. I mean, obviously it's speed mode, that would make sense. But like, it felt more like Sonic for me. I don't know.
I didn't even get when I played it because I had a different demo. I didn't even have that option.
Yeah,
it said like this was for like if you're familiar with Sonic games, this is your high speed mode. Whereas if you're not familiar with Sonic games, this is like an action based mode.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. All right.
But I played the demo twice and played it one on each mode, and didn't notice a difference myself.
And you played in the same day, so and literally right after each other. So
about half hour in between. And it's kind of just like didn't quite get it.
What did you think of the combat?
There are some weird mechanics. It felt very one button until I died on the boss the first time. And then
was that the ninja boss?
Yeah. And then the loading screen tip was, "Oh, you can parry." By the way, I'm like,
yeah, they don't tell you that.
No,
it's annoying.
It's really weird.
I hope the game does better at telling you how to do things before you have to do it.
It was that demo.
It was a tutorial demo, I guess.
Yeah, so they didn't want to throw everything and overwhelm the player, but then it kind of felt really weird to be like, this is a boss battle. Like, and I hate to say it, but it was almost Souls-like.
I did think that. You're not the only one. It's very much like you've got to dodge their moves and then attack when you can.
It was very much like, watch how it's attacking.
Like Souls-like. But then when they got to the later boss, which was the big tower thing, it felt like a Souls-like combined with like Shadow of the Colossus. In a way.
See, I just kind of felt like I don't get why there are all these mechanics. I'm gonna just press the attack button and that.
I feel like this is what I thought as well. I feel like you could do that. It seems very easy. But it could have been just because we're like early in the game, I guess. But like, I don't know, it did feel a bit too easy at times.
And then, but same with the combat. Then, the second time, because when you beat a boss or get to like a checkpoint area, it then spawns a massive rail which will take you back to the first checkpoint in the area, but doesn't indicate that's what it does. It just kind of spawns something new. So I was like, well,
I knew the second time not to go on that.
Yeah, that's what I did. So I got further, and then like once you get out of the demo's like tutorial bit, it's like, okay, now just before it times out, run around and see what you can do.
Yeah.
There's this other huge boss just there.
Was that the tower or?
No, past the tower.
See, I got past, because after I did the tower, I did the portal thing. You know, and that kind of like goes into like some sort of like older style Sonic 3D
it's a
thing.
traditional Sonic runner.
Which was fun. I enjoyed that, to be fair.
Yeah, because I didn't do it myself, but I think on the very first tower you could do one which was Green Hill Zone, essentially.
Yeah.
It looked like, so it's basically, it feels like you went, the plot sounds mad. It was definitely not set up well in the demo. It's just kind of weird,
you kind of just glitched into existence, literally.
You've escaped cyberspace. I'm like, I didn't even know I was in cyberspace.
Yeah, but like you kind of run through. It's like a Sonic 3D runner kind of thing.
Yeah,
they're fun.
Sonic
like a time trial kind of thing as well.
Sonic Colors-y, that second one. But yeah, after you do that, you can like go and get a Chaos Emerald, and then it's like, cool, do what you like.
I looked on the map and it's like, you can find Amy Rose, and I was like, right, let's go, let's find Amy Rose before the end of the demo. And then as soon as I came out the map, the demo ended, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, I don't think you quite even speed running it and skipping all the cutscenes, which I was doing the second time.
Damn.
You'd get that.
I don't think you'd get that far.
Huge other boss, and it just like, I didn't know how to attack it, and I wasn't really doing damage to it, and to me that felt weird. I don't want a Sonic game where I feel like I have to level up Sonic. To me, that feels weird.
Yeah, unless they have like a thing where they like explain why he loses power, maybe.
Or why you need to power him up and stuff.
Yeah.
In the bottom left corner where it had his like 4 skill things, we were all level 1 of 99. And that, to me, sounds like a grind.
I did kind of like leveling up a bit some of his attacks, because he had that Tron thing where he runs around a person, and it's like that. It's like the Tron bike.
But then you did it in combat, and it's just this does no damage. Yeah. I'm just gonna attack.
I think it just stuns them mostly, and then you can get more attacks in. Because I was doing that a load round them, thinking this would kill him eventually, which it would, but it took ages. So I thought I did that, got them all in the air stunned, and then jumps on him, and it pretty much killed me instantly.
Also, it would have been nice if the demo told you at any point that there was a boost button, because
it doesn't. It doesn't tell you that. Yeah, I only did it by accident. I was like, oh, now I'm fast.
When I went back the first time, I was like, oh, I've got loads of rings. What happens if I get 400 rings? And it was like, oh yeah, this makes you boost more. I'm like, you can boost?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's just like issues with it being a demo, and I'm not wanting to be like have a text box every 5 steps. So I think the full game will do that better and have you gradually doing more.
Yeah.
But I think my overall take on it is it's kind of weird, but kind of okay. Like, I'm not turned off by playing it. But I'm not, having played it, I'm not rushing out to be like, this is my next must play.
See, before going into EGX, I knew I'd be able to play it. Going into it, I was like, I'll give it a go. I'm not expecting to like it. I'm expecting to hate it. I thought I would hate it. And I came out pleasantly surprised, and I actually quite enjoyed it. And I think I will play it. I'm not going to play it day one, because God of War. That's fair. That's the only reason. If it was coming out at any other time that wasn't that time, I probably would get it and play it day one. But
yeah, with everything else coming out, I feel like that's one that I can happily be like, I want this for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I will have fun over the Christmas period playing weird Sonic.
But I'll play them all.
Yeah, I'm more excited for Sonic now after playing it, which I didn't think I would be.
Agree.
I think like every time I saw a trailer,
Sonic Off sort of thing. Like Sonic Colors was good, but I didn't like want to get like the
it's never going to be
deluxe edition or anything. But this one's kind of
Sonic
been like
Mania.
Yeah, maybe I will play Sonic again.
Henry, are you going to play it?
Oh yeah, I'm buying it day one.
Fair enough.
You're speaking to Sonic trash, but I need to play more of it.
Are you higher on it after playing it than you thought you would be?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect going into it before, to be honest. But
because I remember seeing the trailers and I was like, this doesn't look good. Like, I remember when they first showed it, I think it was IGN first or something, and they were showing just generally going around the world and combat and stuff, and I was like, don't know about this, but getting my hands on it, it feels good to play.
Yeah, all I heard was, like, I hadn't seen any trailers or anything, but I heard it was open world Sonic and I'm just kind of like, okay.
Hmm.
This feels like they're just shoehorning Sonic into the next big thing. But I feel like because it didn't seem like it was a massive open world, because some open world games can be too big.
Yeah.
And it felt like there's going to be enough to do and explore.
I do wonder how big it's going to be. Like, I don't want a 100-hour.
I think they said 20 to 30, if I'm right.
That's doable. That's okay. I like that. I don't. Yeah. Because that was my problem. I've never actually finished Breath of the Wild, and that was my problem with that. It was too long.
I finished Breath of the Wild and enjoyed it. I have no interest in ever playing it again.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's fair. Except until 2. Or whatever it's
I'll play 2, and like sometimes if I'm watching Breath of the Wild content, I'll be like, I could play this again, and then I remember, no, it's long.
Yeah, no, it is. That I got 80 hours in, and I was like, I think I'm done. But I'm glad it's Sonic's sounding like it's 20 to 30 hours, because I'm not going to get to the point where I'm like, I'm done. I think I'll finish that, which is I'm glad.
And it will be interesting to know, because that's the other issue with Sonic, is are his friends going to be playable, and how's that going to work?
As far as I'm aware, they won't be playable, but I don't know. I know some of them, like, I think because people were using an autosave exploit.
Yeah, to get further in demos and stuff. Yeah, I heard about this.
And they found Big the Cat.
Oh, good. Big confirmed.
Doing a fishing minigame.
Fishing minigame wasn't in the demo. I'm now more excited.
No, they weren't supposed to find it in the demo. That's the problem here. But yeah, no, it's a JRPG. So,
I was going to say, I kind of hope that it's not like Amy Rose tells you to go and collect this stuff.
RPGs before?
They did one Sonic RPG, Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood by BioWare.
Oh, it's that game from the meme.
That game.
I remember that.
It was a game of all time. One of the games of all time. No, to be fair, it wasn't bad, but it's like it did make me think that they could make something better. Like they could build upon that, and then it just didn't happen because BioWare got bought out.
Yeah. See, that's my worry with this game. I feel like with it coming out so soon, it doesn't necessarily seem ready. Like, I feel like if they had another 6 months, it could be like the best Sonic game of all time, but I feel like it's not going to hit that because I don't think it's going to be ready.
There are some issues which might be solved, like the graphical pop-in, but otherwise...
Oh yeah, the pop-in was terrible. It was really bad.
Yeah, there was...
everywhere.
I didn't notice it as much, but there was like a cutscene where it was like swept over the land to show you things. It was like, okay, here's the grass coming in, like
yeah.
And I was like, and it's like that's not what I expect from like a AAA Sonic. Like Sonic's that big household name.
Yeah. You'd think with some of the polish that Sega put into some of their games, you'd think they'd put more into this. Maybe it will look better in November. Who knows? But I feel like they need longer. I wouldn't be surprised if it get delayed, but they are apparently doubling down on this date.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's too late for a delay. So
it's never too late for a delay,
especially not this year, Henry.
No, the fact I wouldn't be so sure if they weren't, A, doing like these big public demos, and B, the fact that they're saying, it's not being delayed. They've said it multiple times, I believe.
Yeah, everyone keeps asking the same question, like, you do realise it's the day before God of War, and they're like, yeah, and we're Sonic.
I would say though it's two very different audiences.
There is crossover though, like me for one.
I also feel in this next gen day and age where it's like the PS5 has been out for 2 years. Can you buy one? No. People who have games, it's basically that one audience of people who play games.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
because games are just too expensive nowadays. I definitely couldn't be spending £60 on Sonic to be spending £60 on God of War the next day.
Yeah, you mean 70, right? It's 70 now.
I'm not interested in God of War, so.
Oh, fair enough. At least you get to enjoy Sonic then. But yeah,
Pokemon comes out in the same sort of
like
frame.
a week later or
something.
Yeah, bloody hell. November's busy, man.
But you at least get the Pokemon games for, I say, at least like 50 rather than the 70 for God of War. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
True.
Boy, yeah, games are too expensive.
Which is why I'm glad about things like Game Pass and stuff.
Oh, here we go.
I know, I love Game Pass. I know, but like it saves me so much money in terms of like buying games, like £70 a game, or
like I'll be honest, I have no idea how that's financially viable for Microsoft. But
because they're rich, Henry. They can afford to lose it.
I mean,
that's legit the reason they can afford to lose the money while they gain subscribers to gain it back eventually.
Or you have people like my friend who subscribes to Game Pass to only play Dead Cells.
Dead isn't even that expensive. It's not that expensive.
I mean, respect, maybe? No, we're going to say that.
Oh, that's funny.
Just buy it outright if that's all you're using it for.
Right, we'll move on from Sonic.
Sure.
But I'm excited for it. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
More than I thought I would be.
Yeah. Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it. Shall we move on to Street Fighter? What is it now? 6? We're on 6.
Yes.
It is 6 now, yeah.
Street Fighter 4 Super Ultimate Under the Table Edition or whatever it is now.
Yeah, Street Fighter 6. Henry, did you play this?
No, because I have very little interest in fighting games normally, so this is all you guys.
See, I tend to not play many fighting games, but I was like, the art style of this one interests me. Because I think it looks really cool, and like when you're doing like the super moves, I like the paint. It looks like
paint. Splatoon for no reason.
I like it though. It's cool. That's the only reason I wanted to play it. And you know what? It felt good.
Yeah. Again, I'm also not a fighting game person. Like I played a lot of Tekken 3 growing up, and I heard there was a new Tekken, and so I would be interested to look into it. But I've never been one of those people to sit down and play a fighting game. Me and Chris were both incredibly shocked when we got to the booth, and it's like, oh, we have to use a fight stick.
Yeah. There were fight sticks, and I was like,
right.
See, this was the second time I played it. I played it on a PS4 controller.
Not played it at all.
But to be fair, I was better on fight stick, weirdly.
Fight sticks heavier than you think they'll be.
Very true. I don't think you were meant to put it on your lap, Grant. But I enjoyed it. I was kind of hoping, with the whole big thing about Street Fighter 6 is the whole story being like an open world kind of thing. And
I didn't hear of until Chris told me,
and like,
and it's just blown my mind how people think they can do an open world.
That got shown, and I was like, I want to play that. I hope they show a bit of that. They didn't show any of that.
I was like, surely that's just a brawler at that point. So...
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't think you're fighting in the open necessarily as you're going around the open world.
Yeah, I was going to say, surely not.
I imagine when you get to fights, it like
especially because Street Fighter is that like, 2D one-on-one.
See, this is the thing. I wanted to see how it worked. I still don't know how it worked, even though I've played the game. So I don't know. Like, it's an interesting one, but like
we didn't get the street, but we did get the fighter.
I played a good few characters. They all felt very different to each other.
Yes.
Which I thought was good. And they all kind of had their like strengths and weaknesses. Like, I can't remember the bloke I was playing. Who's the main bloke from Street Fighter? I can't remember his name. Ryu, yeah. He was very good at his punches. His kicks weren't so good. And I felt Chun-Li's kicks were way better.
Yeah, Chun-Li is definitely a kick. And going from, I think her name is Juri, the JoJo looking character, into Guile. It was very different.
Yeah.
Which is very good for a fighting game because you want them to feel different.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like both me and Chris were kind of like, there are 8 buttons on this fight stick. We don't know what any of them do.
I worked some out towards the end. I knew what my super was. That's the main one.
Yeah.
I was like, give me paint.
I feel like there was definitely combo potential in there.
Yeah.
But there was the counter system seemed like it was working well, but especially when we're both doing the paint move and it's going that slow motion of
Yeah. I like that. I like when it goes into slow motion because he's going to get it. Yeah. He's going to get it. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed it.
It felt like the hits were good, and you were getting. It felt responsive as well, being like, I know I was tapping a lot of buttons, but it felt like the one to press that should have counted.
Yeah, the attacks kind of felt they felt weighty as well.
Yes.
Like you were actually doing damage, kind of thing. But like, my one issue was and it might be the fact that the monitors they were using, but we in the cutscenes especially, there was a lot of big massive screen tear across the screen. Which I hated. Yeah, only in the cutscenes, not in the actual fighting.
I didn't really notice that, but
Grant, I pointed it out while you were there. You were trying to figure out the fight stick, though.
Yeah, that was my main concern.
But yeah, it was like just right across the screen, and that was in the TikTok stand as well. So it wasn't.
Okay.
It might have been the demo, but I'm hoping they get rid of that in the game. But probably will.
But I think the art style looked really good. Like the characters pop from the background. It's weird that Ryu is now the size of Chris Redfield's.
He is massive. But Chun-Li's legs, though, they're also equally massive.
Yeah, they all look incredibly muscular.
Yes.
But like, they stand out from the background, and the colours all like really pop as well. Especially like all the characters seem to be wearing more darker outfits.
Yeah.
But that really pops with like the paint super move coming in at that. Yeah. Almost that comic booky, not quite cell shaded, but that sort of
it's bright and out there, and
with those thick black lines.
Yeah,
and it's like it looked good, and it was satisfying to play, especially as I won every time.
No, every time I won once. We did three matches. I won.
We did a best out of three,
and the third one was super close. He had about that much health.
But I also beat Sam and Kate. I did have to turn my hat backwards to beat Kate, but. I had to be serious, but I still did it.
But this is the first Street Fighter I'm interested in giving a go when it comes out for a very long time. Like I haven't really bothered with Street Fighter since like way back in the day. So it did its job a bit as being a demo and actually getting me interested. So
yeah, it felt like a good play. Like I'm not going to pick up a fighting game because I'm not interested enough to get enough play out of it.
Yeah.
But it's sort of one if, like, on Game Pass or whatever, and you had some mates around, I'd be like, let's fire up a few rounds of Street Fighter.
Like when we go to Cannes, if one of us had Street Fighter.
It would be a fun round robin. Let everyone play Street Fighter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any other big games people want to talk about? There wasn't really anything else, was it? I played Call of Duty. Really, it's very much the same as all the other Call of Duties. I was good at it, and I still don't want to play it. Like that is literally like how it's gone for Call of Duty for me for a very long time.
I go back to my Call of Duty is one of the games that was there, and that's all I can really say about it.
It was really out of the way as well. It's right at the back.
Yeah, I didn't notice it was there, and I just get confused. It's like it's Modern Warfare 2. It's like we had Modern Warfare 2 when I was in year 9.
Well, I did like
this time Roman numerals.
What I did think was cool though, was that Call of Duty bit stayed open into the after hours EGX, so you could play it during the after hours, which is cool. Which is when I was played it because no one queued during the after hours because no one went really. But that's the only reason I got to play it, and the only reason I queued up anyway. Because every time in the day it was just like a massive queue, and I was like, no, thank you. But I had fun. I'm not gonna buy it. Simple as that.
Fair enough.
I also played very little of that new Galaga style game and worked out how to crash that, so that was fun.
Oh yeah, twice. You did that twice.
Yeah, I could consistently crash the game.
Ginji or something.
Yeah, it was like Gun Chu Gin something.
I like those types of games, but that was way too hard.
I can't think what that is.
It was way too hard.
Yeah, it was definitely out the way and on the TikTok stands, and nobody wanted.
Yeah, literally every time no one queued for it because no one could get past the boss. That's literally it. Like every time I saw a try, it was just
I worked out how to consistently crash the game, and it was hold the A button, which is not what you want.
Which is to
shoot
torpedoes.
Multiverses over there as
yes,
well.
they did. Yes,
they did. I
enjoyed that
vibe with multiverses.
It kicked his ass.
That's
why.
Cut that.
I enjoy multiverses. I've played it. Because it's free anyway. I played it before. And
Multiverse is fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. I enjoyed it. I haven't been back to it for a little while at this point. But my mentality of that sort of game was like I could play it at home, I don't necessarily want to play it here because I can just do that elsewhere.
That's why I didn't want to queue up to play Splatoon, because it's like I'm on the fence about buying it anyway because I enjoy Splatoon. I don't know if but I've never bought Splatoon. But
it is very good.
I wasn't going to queue up to play a game that was.
Me and Kate sort of played it the first day. We smashed. We were really good, and then we entered the tournament the second day with 4 of us: me, Kate, Sam, and Becca. Sam and Becca had never played Splatoon before. We only entered the tournament to get a free bag, so we got a free bag, guys. But we lost real bad. But I enjoyed it. It's fun. My only issue with it is it's an online game for the Switch, and the Switch does not have good online necessarily.
I have heard they've really put the effort into Splatoon.
Yeah, but my problem, Grant, is I have to go on a separate app to talk to people at the same time.
It's
annoying. It's an extra step I don't need. If this was on an Xbox, if Splatoon had come out on an Xbox or a PlayStation, I'd be playing it. But because it's on Switch, it puts me off.
This is why I do Discord calls when it comes to playing Splatoon. So
yeah, but that's.
But you shouldn't. You
shouldn't have to.
I shouldn't have to. No, but
Discord should be on every console, and then you should be able to talk to everybody. It's slowly happening with PlayStation, Xbox, but not Switch.
Better in queuing up with your friends as well to play though, and being in a lobby and a party, and they have put work into it. I'll give them credit where credit is due, but there's also a trading card game in Splatoon, and I'm just like, okay.
I've always wanted to play it, but I'm never gonna have anyone to play with, and I don't want to have to set up a separate app to talk to people. It's just the whole thing.
That's fair.
But I did enjoy what I played. I mean, we can. Was Planet Lana an indie? I feel like it is.
Yes. Planet Lana is.
So
that was the one with the cat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That reminded me of Boy and His Blob.
That's my favourite game of the show. We'll move on to the indies. I've got a few to talk about within that whole section they had, because they had a good decent amount of games in there. Planet Lana was my favourite game of the show. You both played it, right?
Yes.
I saw you play it. Yes. You played it as well. What did you guys think?
I quite enjoyed it. I like the vibe of it.
It was different, yeah.
Yeah, it was very pretty. I like the puzzle solving. But yeah, I just wanted more time with it.
Yeah,
I felt some of the puzzles were a wee bit hard, so I could have got a bit further in the demo if I'd worked out what I could do. But it did well of introducing the different mechanics.
Sure.
And it was just I struggled to get the hang of press the button to stop the cat and hold the button to make it follow you again.
Should be the other way around, right?
I'm not, or toggle.
I think.
Sort of press it to stop, press to follow again.
Yeah, maybe,
or something like that. I get, or hold to stop made more sense as well, but I had fun with it. It looked very good. It sounded nice and it's all floaty and breezy.
Yeah. See, I've looked more into it. It seems very much along the lines of Inside on Limbo crossed with The Last Guardian.
Yeah, I was thinking it had Last Guardian. I was getting Last Guardian meets Unraveled kind of vibe.
Yeah, because you kind of your little cat's like your little pet, and you in Last Guardian you got the dog Trico, and you're kind of telling him what to do to help you solve puzzles and stuff. It's the similar vibe, and I quite enjoyed that.
I'm going to say now, I have not played all 4 of those games you've just mentioned.
You haven't played Inside or Limbo. That's a disgrace.
I have them. I have not played them.
You need to play them. They're some of the best games ever.
Ever increasing.
Last Guardian, I get.
Yeah, I've not played Last Guardian either, but I get the vibe. It's I played a bit of Unraveled and it's cute.
But I really liked I liked some of the puzzles. I managed to actually get quite far in the demo. I crashed it the first time. Because there was a bit where you had to pull out these wooden planks to let the little cat through.
Oh yeah.
And the second one, my guy just got caught and stuck in the crouch mode, and then I couldn't move. And the guy came over to me going, "Damn it, this is a common bug."
Oh no!
He goes, "Unfortunately, I've got to restart the whole demo for you." And I was like, "Fine, yeah, let's go."
The other thing, which I think is all games, toggle crouch, please.
Also, it wasn't it hold LT to crouch?
It was hold crouch, and it was no, toggle crouch, please.
Yeah, I liked some of the puzzles, like the one where you had to get there's like, because it's like a nice normal like forest planet kind of thing, and then there's like grass and everything, and then there was all of a sudden like these like weird creatures.
Yeah, it's definitely that sort of visual story, like environmental storytelling.
Like Studio Ghibli kind of style. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a warning of this, but they did it really well because they showed a little bug move under a little rock, and then
I thought it was really like little foreshadowing kind of thing. The big rock,
and then with lots of things like okay.
Yeah, and then it chases your little cat thing.
Yeah.
And you kind of use that to move the rock to get over to places. I like that kind of.
And it wasn't very in your face, like, oh, watch out, this thing's going to get your cat. It's sort of, if the cat's on its own too long, the tentacles get longer. It's like,
yeah,
that looked kind of bad.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in your face about, and even when I was struggling on the puzzle, it didn't have a thing like, oh, you need to do this. Like, a lot of games can be in your face about.
Yeah, it just kind of leaves you to kind of think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like.
It was nice, and it was calming, because I was struggling with the puzzle, but I wasn't frustrated.
Stressing.
I was like, there's clearly something I'm missing, and it was. You could jump onto a ledge, which was slightly too high, I thought. It wasn't.
That's the one, did you get to the electricity bit, where you had to...
I was halfway through that with the cart and stuff, and again, that felt nice, being able to like move the cart, climb on the cart, and sort of...
You had to cover something with the cart to stop the electricity, so you can get your cat to cut the thing, and it was the whole thing. But like the mechanics worked really well. Okay, so I got past that bit, and there was like a little, because in the actual place there was like they had that statue of the spider. Yeah. So like I got past that, and there's like you have to stealth past one of these that's like kind of looking out for you, and you got like grass to like hide in and stuff. But like I've looked into it, and apparently further on you can kind of like use the little cat thing as a distraction for you to get away, because he's faster than you. So like once you get away, then the cat catches up to you and stuff. So it's all okay, unless you leave it there, and then it's dead, I guess. But like it was very cute, very wholesome. I know Kate liked it as well. But like, yeah, I'm definitely into it. It's on Game Pass day one apparently, so that's good. I'll definitely play it.
It's a positive, yeah.
Yeah, I think the story's intriguing, because why are the spiders there? Why is the black goo everywhere? Weirdly, you know what I mean? Like it's obviously I feel like your planet's kind of been invaded by these things, and it's like, but I feel like it's gonna tell you the story in the background, like kind of thing as you walk past stuff.
Yeah,
and stuff
more
like
of
that.
An environmental storytelling.
For sure.
Here's a lore dump of why the aliens are here.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. I'm intrigued by that, to be fair. So yeah, that's Planet Lana. Henry, you played Wavetale, right?
Yes, I quite enjoyed Wavetale. Probably my favourite of the Thunderfall area. In all honesty, that was just the traversal felt really nice. Like being able to go across those waves, being able to do the tricks as you're going across them, while your shadow was lifting you up.
So for anyone, for Grant and anyone who's watching who doesn't know what like the premise of it, it's basically, from what I could gather, you're in this little village, and then like for some reason a tidal wave comes, but it's got this like demon thing in, which is weird.
Some sort of darkness thing,
And then like, so basically it floods your town, but like when you go on the water, it like goes underneath you, so its foot's underneath your foot, and it allows you to run on water and do all these like sick tricks and stuff. Which is, and like Henry says, the traversal is amazing. Like it feels so good. Like as soon as I saw someone playing it, I was like, that looks good to play. So I waited there, I played it, I was like, it's good to play. It feels so good.
And
so
the
damn good.
platforming stuff that came with it as well.
Yeah, like the grappling, you got like the grapple thing and everything, and you can kind of like jump off stuff, and I thought it was a paintbrush at first, but it's not. It's like a little net that you kind of spin around, so it's like a little helicopter thing, so you can kind of like glide as well. But like, from what I could gather, you're kind of trying to save the people in the town from like these demon creatures and stuff. There is combat in it, but it doesn't seem particularly hard. But
yeah, it wasn't that intense. So.
Yeah, so it could be kind of like one of those like easygoing kind of games where it's just all about the traversal and how fun that is. It's apparently already out on Stadia, so I'm not surprised no one else has heard of this game.
I mean, if Google are throwing the money at indie dev saying, we want you to, give us timed exclusivity. I get it. So,
yeah.
like, it's not. Yeah.
You're not going to turn that down.
No, but also it is coming to other consoles. Apparently, either I got told either the end of this year or start next year. They haven't settled on a date. Apparently,
I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, he said. I think I was told PC and consoles.
Yeah, I don't. They didn't specify which consoles. So when I assume they say consoles, I assume they mean them all.
I was told all of them, including Switch.
Oh, that's good. Well, that'd be a nice Switch game
for the indie market. It's sort of the Switch game is where you want to be.
Yes, the Switch is 100%
but this
where you
sounds
want to be
like
on
something I want to play on Switch. I don't want to commit my big home TV set up to it. I don't
know. I feel like I'd be happy to play it on that. The art style is really cool. It's very simple, but like it works. Like, but yeah, it's very colourful, very, very colourful, and I just really liked. Like Kate was watching me, and she says like she doesn't like water generally. She hates water. She's scared of water, like the sea and stuff. Yeah. So like, but she said even she would give that a go because you obviously can't drown by the looks of it, and you're skating across the water and stuff, and it's really cool. So that's quite good. But yeah, I was quite high on that after having never heard of it before, and just jumped on it at a whim, kind of thing. I was quite. That was one of my favourite games from the show.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I was given as a press thing like an hour to like go across like 3 of the games across.
You got a lot more time than me.
I didn't play each game for an hour. It's more like I could go between 3 of them like for 15 minutes. I think it was generally, yeah. And then I got to play. Was it Worldless as well?
Oh, okay, yeah, I played that as well. What did you think of that?
I liked it. I like the style to it. It's not. I'm not sure if I love it though.
Yeah.
I think again, it's like you can only get so much off it at 15 minutes.
Yeah, because it's a 2D platformer basically. It's like it reminded me very much in terms of the platforming bits. It reminded me of like the Ori games.
Yeah.
Like you've got like you unlock a dash and stuff. Like you got different moves. I think you're some sort of light or something. I don't know what the premise of the actual like story is.
No, I don't know either.
From like what I can gather, you're some sort of light, but it looks visually nice because it's all against like mostly black backgrounds, and you're like this blue neon kind of light thing, which is cool. So it looks visually nice. I like how the combat's like action turn-based kind of thing. So it's not like how you would expect from like something like Ori or something like that. It's kind of like it's turn-based, but not like Persona in terms of like you have a turn then they have a turn kind of thing. It's more like you have a certain amount of time to get as many hits in as you want, or
pretty much.
And you have like a sword attack and a magic attack. So and they all have different weaknesses to different things, the enemies. So like, but then that changes as the battle goes on. So like at one moment they can be weak to sword attacks, and then later they can be weak to magics. All of a sudden, it's kind of weird, but it shows you that on the screen. But like you just kind of decide carefully what you do, and you can block their attacks and stuff, but you have to time it with a parry kind of thing, which is cool. It was interesting combat. I think that's the bit that got me more interested in it the most.
Yeah, the combat was fun. I like that. So yeah, it's hard to get lasting opinions after such a short time.
That's it. Like I did want to play it again, but I just didn't get a chance.
Sure.
But like combining a Ori style game with like something like with that combat, I think could be an interesting idea if done well across the whole game. So I'm hoping for the best. And I think that's the first time they've put it in a demo and showed it at a show apparently.
To my knowledge, yes, but I could be wrong. I don't know for certain.
That's what I heard anyway. But like, it's cool, and apparently it's coming sometime next year. That's most of these games that we're talking about now are under Thunderful, Planet of Lana, Wavetale, Worldless as well. Like they're all under Thunderful.
Yeah.
Well, Worldless is also published by Coatsink at the same time, but Coatsink are under Thunderful now apparently. I don't know. This is what I got told.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's that many acquisitions, I don't know anymore. but something like that. I didn't try it at the show, but I also tried Last Hero of Nostalgaia.
Yeah, I tried that as well at the show.
Yeah.
Really, I quite like that. What did you think?
I had fun with it. I played it at WASD or WASD.
Yeah. It's like a Dark Souls comedy game. in a way.
Much, yeah. I got to the boss on my first run, and I just didn't quite get the.
I beat the boss.
I beat it. No.
I actually beat the demo before the time. It kicks you out when you beat the boss anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
But I actually quite liked it because it's like a generic Dark Souls game, Grant. Because obviously, I don't know if you saw this game.
I saw that they had the weird stickman statue.
Yeah, you play as a stickman. Yeah,
I was kind of intrigued. Like I didn't get a chance to play any. I played the one with the cat, but didn't get a chance to play the others. But all the artwork and posters looked interesting.
Yeah.
Like that light one looked interesting. They also had that one which looked quite blocky, and I was like, okay, that looks. From bits I saw of other people, they looked intriguing.
Yeah,
and this one just had a literal stick man with a sword
and a shield. And it plays like you'd imagine. You got a parry, like block and all that. You got heavy attack, light attack. You got dodge, like what you would expect from a Souls-like game. But as you're playing, you've got this very British narrator, like taking the piss, basically.
And you can't be the hero, sort of thing.
Yeah. Like when you die is like pathetic. It is quite funny. Like, and he's constantly taking the piss out of like just Dark Souls games in general and stuff like that. And I was speaking to one of the developers, and apparently, like, where copyright allows, like, they're putting certain like weapons and stuff in like that look similar to other things. Apparently there might be some sort of key that's a weapon. So
oh no,
they're going to be making jabs at everything. Not just Souls games, apparently.
Fantastic. Alright.
But I really enjoyed that. I thought I was laughing.
Especially if it's got solid gameplay behind a parody game.
The gameplay is quite fun. Like, it is what you expect, but it doesn't feel as hard as a proper Souls game. It wasn't as punishing for me. So, yeah, I think I'd recommend that. I think it's quite fun. I'm looking for that's come out soon as well. Apparently, it's sometime during October.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
in fact, it might say on the back of this card.
I was told the code to be going
19th of October.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. But yeah,
#non-spawned.
Pretty much everything under that Thunderfall banner that I played was pretty good. I really enjoyed. So that whole section of EGX was very successful for me. Is where I spent most of my time.
Likewise.
Other than that, Grant, do you want to talk about Polterguys?
Let me equip my headgear.
I love how he had it with him.
Yeah, 3 hats you could win. So that drew my.
How did you win that, Grant? How did you win that?
I won that by beating everyone 3 times in a row.
How did you do that? How did you beat everyone?
I previously played the game and couldn't win a hat, so I thought I'll get everyone else to play it and win
I'd never
to
played
win a
it
hat.
before.
But no, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun. It was almost like a racing game, kind of, where you're these little ghosts which possess little things, and you have to just run away from a big monster on a track, and you have to be the last one to.
But he also can turn around and stuff. Like, he's not just going in one direction.
Yeah, what I found really interesting, because I managed to have quite a good conversation with one of the developers, was that this monster will, unless you're using like an item which draws the monster's attention, it will go for the player that it's closest to.
Yeah.
So you can't just run quicker and get behind it, because if you get too close behind it will
turn around
and get you.
Yeah.
And so
which I found out the hard way.
Yeah, it definitely had a steep learning curve, because there were lots of abilities, and
it's very much like Mario Kart in that sense with the abilities. Yeah. Because people kept stealing what I had possessed, so I turned literally into a little ghost and was super slow. So I had to pick up something else to possess to move.
Something like a lamp, a toy car, an old
a mushroom,
box.
Which is what I had to possess to save myself the first time.
It's definitely, once you get past that learning curve, like I had a few more rounds than the rest of the guys, I really enjoyed it. It was just a short, fun little
party game.
Yeah, it's one of those that you jump in a couple minutes and be like, okay, well, once everyone else has got it, I think it'd be very competitive as well.
Oh yeah.
All right, sure.
For sure. Like if you bought that to a con and we all had put it on the Switch or whatever, if it was on the Switch, I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was just coming to Steam,
PC for now. But
yeah, it's one of those that would benefit from that sort of,
people being
in
the room for sure.
That couch co-op sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice short, and it had that nice cartoony art style. So even the monster was literally
and the ghosts were
a black blob with red eyes.
Yeah,
and it's all got these sort of cute little eyes, and so it drew my attention as soon as I walked in with the art style, and then I was glad I've managed to swing back around and play it because it was really enjoyable and it was really good to talk to the devs about it, and they were able to explain it and stuff.
Yeah. Anything else that people want to talk about? I mean, did you want to talk about any of the VR that you did?
Sure. So there were, what did I do? I did about 5 different VR games across the event, 4 of which I am definitely going to be covering Upload VR. There was...
I was going to say, where can people find those, but you've already answered that. So
yeah. But I've still got to write them still. But yeah,
keep an eye on Upload VR, people.
Thank you. So I played a game called Blockstar VR, which was just like a shooter game. That one I wasn't as hot on. There was a game called Everslot Invasion, which was like a PvE sort of thing, co-op. As soon as I saw the shiny sword, I was like, mine.
Yeah.
And then, we just started taking down hordes, me and one of the developers, which was cool.
So was that a co-op game where you were both in VR?
Yes, that's right.
That's
cool. So, I mean, VR's got a few co-op experiences. Obviously, you just can't do it the same way locally, like you would. Yeah.
Unless like you have 2 VR headsets, and who has 2?
Yeah. Who
has that many, Henry?
That's where they all
You're a VR reviewer, you have an excuse.
I'd love to beat that guy. Sounds very cool. What else was there? There was a game called Guardians Frontline.
Was that the one they announced at EGX? There was one that they announced.
Ones they announced.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was cool. I missed that VR showcase, which was annoying. Because I was planning on playing that.
I missed it as well because I was in the middle of a press preview. That was a mix of FPS and RTS, so that was quite interesting.
Sounds like something I would be interested in.
Yeah, you could switch the perspective as you were playing, so that was quite cool. I stuck to FPS just because it feels better in VR to me, but
that
makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine real-time strategy in VR.
It was interesting. Yeah, I'll say that. I need to consider that more. I'll say. The other one I really liked, it wasn't on the show floor, it was Ghost Signal, a Stellaris story. So
is that set in a Stellaris world, I assume? Yeah. Like the sequel, the sequel to Thingy. Yeah, okay.
It's instead of having like because Stellaris being a strategy game, it is a action roguelite.
Ooh.
Which was
like roguelites.
It was really good. I have to say, it worked so much better than I thought it would. Because what you do is you only have like a small screen where your ship's on during battles. So you'll point towards the enemy. You'll choose like your weapon off of one hand. You have like lasers, blasters, things like that. So you can swap between them. And then once you clear that up, you then go on to like a map. So you choose like what direction do I want to go? Do I want to go here where we've got a battle? Do I want to go there where we've got like a creature that we can find? Or do I want to go to the giant ass question mark at the bottom?
That is what I would choose every time.
Yeah. So at one point, apparently, I was told this was quite rare. I went for a creature and got a dragon egg. So I was then on that run accompanied by a dragon who would shoot lasers.
Cool.
That always sounds good.
It was fantastic. And there was another moment where I chose creature again. And I don't know if you've ever seen that Doctor Who episode where the moon is an egg.
Yes, I have.
Basically, that happened in front of me. And I was like, oh no. What's happening? Oh no. But it was fine. I was just there, like, he was just chilling. It was cool.
Fair enough.
And I did about 2 runs of that. So you could do like permanent upgrades between each run. You can't carry currency, but you get your experience points. So I was like, some of the things were unavailable because it's 2023. It's coming out. It's still a way off. So I was upgrading my hull, being like, all right, this time I'll get them. And I managed to get to the boss in the second run, which I was quite pleased at. Got demolished. It's okay.
You got there.
I got there. That was the key thing. I did it. Are you proud of me, Ma? And that was easy. I could have sat there for hours playing that. So
that's what you want from a roguelike as well.
Yeah, and a VR game, to be fair, because there's very few times where I've been like wanting to stay in a VR game for a long time.
Well, it definitely helps that you can just play it seated. So I'll say that. So,
I can imagine. Yeah,
easily. Yeah. So that was probably my highlight of the show, Stellaris, which I did not expect going into that. So
that's always good. Getting one you don't expect being the best one. I mean, that happened with me with Planet Lana, so
sure,
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
The other thing I got on was, oh god, they only told me it was a play to earn game halfway through after already saying I would play it. It's a VR game, but it was like this really basic shooter.
Okay.
No, I made mistakes. No.
What does it mean by play to earn?
Like they were talking about like metaverse and all.
Oh no. Oh no, NFTs.
I should have. I was too polite to walk away.
It's hard to walk away in a VR headset.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Speaking of that, I was quite surprised. I expected more of a presence from that kind of thing at EGX in general. No, like metaverse, NFTs stuff. Didn't see that much though. So I saw a sticker saying NFTs for life somewhere, and just whatever booth that was on avoided. But
well, there was the brand expo opposite side, which had the whole Bored Ape stuff, didn't it? So from that, maybe.
The brand expo I went into, but it was just there wasn't much. It was just people showing like upcoming clothes for their brands, like Pokemon clothes and stuff. Like there's some cool stuff in there, but like we only went in there on a whim, just to see what it was.
No, fair enough.
And it was weird that PlayStation were over there and Ubisoft, yet they didn't decide to think, there's a gaming con on the other side of the thing. Let's go over there.
They were both there.
Both of them. Activision were all there as well.
Like the wrong hall and thought we're here now.
Like what really annoyed me was walking into the Excel, there was like a banner on the right showing like God of War Ragnarok, showing like all these PlayStation games. I was like, oh my god, are they actually at EGX? And then I realised it was in the brand one next door. I was like, but they weren't.
Yeah, I also
really
at the Excel they had the big
there,
billboard up outside for the Pokemon World. It was like, welcome trainers. It's like, no, there's no Pokemon here.
But like Pokemon were over there on the brand thing, but there was random stuff like Hello Kitty and.
At least it was free entry, if nothing else.
Yeah. I would have paid to go in there.
So imagine paying for Brand Expo.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, I know. But
yeah, someone who used to work in events, there are some weird ones out there.
Yeah, I didn't. Aside from that, I didn't really play a lot else. There was a couple other VR ones I saw, but I've already got them.
I played Peaky Blinders
which
VR.
I really like.
I played Peaky Blinders VR. That was
okay.
It was alright. It was very basic. Like there wasn't much to do. Like have you watched the show?
No, that's why I didn't go.
Yeah, I've seen like the first 2 seasons. I know the gist.
You know the song that plays at the start, Grant, yeah?
Oh no, it's been a while.
I mean, yeah, but you walk down the street with that song playing. You walk to the bar where, what's his name? The main guy, the name escapes me. Tommy Shelby.
Cillian Murphy. Was it actually him?
Yes, it was. It looked terrible in VR, not gonna lie. But then again, it didn't look so weird because he always looks weird, in my opinion. Looks like the ant from Ants.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's the hot take of this video.
He looks like the ant from Ants. Oh, in the YouTube video, I'm going to put a picture of that here, and you will not be able to unsee it. But
I mean, to be fair, Quest is just not that powerful itself.
Which is fair, and to be fair, like the environments look very good.
Sure.
Like the outfits they're wearing, very good. It's just the faces, but you can tell who they were, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And if they've got the voices, then I guess that helps as well.
Yeah, which they do.
Which is good for a licensed game.
Yeah,
definitely, yeah.
But I enjoyed it. You go into this bar, you smoke a cigar, which is always fun to do in VR because you don't have any of the health issues with afterwards. You get to have some whiskey with him. He's trying to get you out of this, like, you like abandon your post in the war or something. He's trying to get you out of that, and he's trying to like get you to do things as favors to him so he can get you out of it or something. And apparently, according to the developers, you eventually do end up joining the Peaky Blinders in a Peaky Blinders game. Who would have knew? You know,
spoilers.
Could not have guessed.
But he gets you to go in a room, and you can either like there's a guy in there that he wants you to kill. You can either slap him around a bit, like throw shit at him, like you can shoot him, which I did in the end after slapping him a bit. Yeah,
Fine.
like well, I tried to balance a bottle on his head first, but he kept me. You gotta try these things in VR. You gotta try these
fun
things.
Of VR.
Just reminded of a slightly older, like more old timey London heist, like with PSVR.
Pretty much, yeah. There was a few things where stuff was. When I was trying to put it on his head, it was going through his head and stuff that looks weird in VR, but they don't necessarily expect you to do half these things. I
mean, fair, yeah, that's a fair one.
But like you can unload the gun, reload the gun, and all that jazz. Like it all works. It's all cool.
Sure,
but it's just very short because after I left the bar, that was it. Then, so like it's very.
It was
short.
only the demo.
It was demo. Like it gave the vibe. It showed that like they've got the street down that from the show kind of thing. The pub looks exactly like it should. Faces a little bit, but that can be worked on, I guess. But like, depends what you're playing it on as well. To be fair, if you're
it's going to be it's hard to get a live. You don't want it looking live action. You don't. It's just getting that.
Yeah.
You get Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
Doesn't help as well. It's a niche, so you don't get the same.
You don't get as much of a budget. Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah.
Which is.
And I imagine a lot of your budget goes on Cillian Murphy.
Well, yes, I'd imagine so, and other actors. However, they do have the lady who died, so I don't know whether they must have a different.
Full Peaky Blinders and
no. In real life, she died. But it's the woman who is also in Harry Potter. She was someone's mom, Malfoy's mum. Yeah, well, the actress died anyway recently. But she's in it, so I imagine they've got a different voice actor, or they've got her voice from before when they were making it. Maybe I don't know. But
I would say it helps in these sort of games where you have like not some sort of striving for realism, like you're going for a very distinct style, or like that Discronia game I mentioned. That is an anime game in VR, so it's got a very, very distinct style. Like they can get away with that. So we're like the lower specs at that point because you're not trying to like make it like not like Horizon, Call of the Mountain, things like that.
Yeah. So, I've heard that looks very good, Henry.
It does, from what I've seen. I wish I could play that. I really want to.
Yeah. Soon, Henry. Soon, hopefully.
Soon. Yeah. I did not get into that round of PSVR previews, unfortunately.
Hopefully you'll get in the next one. It's coming out next spring. You got to get in one eventually.
Please. Please, I beg.
But also, I feel like with VR, once you're in there, that's the world you're in. You know what I mean? You don't really judge it as harshly as you would like a game you're playing on a screen.
I imagine
when you're
comparing it to what you see to his like cardboard cutout they had on the stand, it's probably a very different vibe.
Yeah, because like when you're playing something on a screen, you can obviously see around the screen. You're comparing it to real life, but when you're in there, that's the world you live in for that moment. You know what I mean? So you don't really. It's not. Yeah. It's very different. Like I can think of like some PSVR games that I played that looked amazing when I'm like in it, but then when you see it on a TV screen, you're like, it's very different. But when you're in
doesn't
it,
always translate.
Yeah. A lot of VR games don't translate to showing on a TV screen very well at all.
No, I agree with that.
They're a hard sell. But like once you're in there, then when you've experienced it, you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I
don't think there's anything else I really want to dive into game-wise that was there.
There was, I think there was just a couple of EGX issues of definitely being able to restart demos, because if people have
that was great.
got up halfway through, and it's just kind of like there was definitely
you have 2 minutes left.
There was one I was trying to play. I think it was Fall of Porcupine. I was a pigeon in a doctor's office, and I was literally I was just talking to a snow leopard, and I was just like, I'm pressing a button and a block appears and it kind of moves.
And your speech bubble wasn't working.
Yeah. And it was but it was like there was no way to then reset the demo or anything.
Yeah, because the dev wasn't actually there, was he? Yeah.
No. And it was like when we were playing that, not Doom, but might as well be Doom.
Oh yeah, Scave. Yeah.
That's
I remember that. That was alright. I enjoyed that.
I was playing it on mouse and keyboard, so didn't enjoy it.
You didn't know the controls. That's fair.
But again, it was sort of like I needed to find one more rune of 5 or whatever, and so a lot of the level had been cleaned out. I didn't have all the ammo for the gun, so it would have been nice to just be able to
start from the beginning.
That again.
There was a few that I noticed that if you press start, you can restart the demo.
Yeah,
which I liked, and I liked the fact on the most of the Thunderfall one as well. Like there was like a timer that you can visibly see.
That helped. So
you know how much you've got left, which I liked. Because I was like,
yes, that would have been helpful. Because the first time I played Sonic, it kicked me out. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a time-based demo, not a progress-based demo.
Yeah, definitely. I think with demos, put a timer on them so the person knows how long they have.
Yeah. And I definitely think if your game, especially if your game is complicated and a bit different, you need to be able to be there to explain it to be able to get that enjoyment. Not every game is a pick up and play.
Yeah.
No.
Not every tutorial is as self-explanatory as you would wish.
Like when we were playing that Too Soon, Never Say Die, Too Soon to Die, or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, the one where it's like this. It's a fighting game with swords, but like
it's a one-hit kill fighting game kind of thing. Again, that would have benefited from someone talking us through it instead of us working out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is what's happening.
We kind of got it at the end.
Yeah, but I think we would have enjoyed it more had someone been there to explain it. So that's my takeaway from a gaming show in general is if you're going to have a game that isn't very binary, okay, I'm moving these blocks to move these toy soldiers, for example. That one I didn't need to speak to somebody for. But for you're a pigeon talking to a snow leopard and nothing you do does anything, I kind of would like to speak to someone.
Fair. Yeah. Fair.
I feel like especially for the indie games,
like
that's definitely needed. And most of the time, they are around somewhere, unless they're on lunch. And if it's just one guy, gotta have lunch, I guess. So you know.
Cool.
But I do think, especially like Street Fighter, I know what Street Fighter is, but if you to hook me into your anime indie game, which there are 6 of on this row, you need that little something extra to pull me in.
It's not enough. There needs to be more.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, though, I thought it was a better show than last year. So
yeah, it was.
It's getting there. It's getting back slowly to what it.
I'd go again, definitely.
Yeah. Would you go for 4 days though?
I wouldn't go for 4 days. I don't think there would be enough to sustain 4 days, and I'd be like, especially, I quite like to shop as well. There wasn't a lot of shops there, but
there's more than that kind usually of vibe. Is, to be fair.
No insert coin though.
Again, I want to get a new jacket. I haven't been able to get a new jacket for the last 4 years because of there not being there.
It's not right. It's not right, I tell you.
Maybe they were at the brand expo.
No, they weren't. I looked.
Imagine. Yeah, I mean, EGX, if I wasn't doing, work stuff, I probably wouldn't have gone the whole time. I reckon Saturday and Sunday would have been fine for me.
To be fair, I think I go all 4 days all the time anyway, but only because I know I can spread it out then. That's because it makes it less stressful to kind of rush and get everything done in one day, which is, and it's, you know, a bunch of us go, so we can hang out and stuff, so it's not like everything's in a rush.
I didn't get to play like everything, so I didn't get to play these like Wavetale, which sounded really good, but also I wouldn't want to be there for 4 days being like, oh, I've not played this one, I guess I'll play it. I'm not really that interested, but it's one of the ones I've not played yet.
Yeah,
sure.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, I have good news. You can play it. It's out now. It's on Stadia.
Let me just get out my Stadia. Oh wait, no. Like everyone, I don't
even
have
need
one.
the hardware
Grant,
anymore.
I have a Stadia. I didn't buy it though. Google gave it me for free.
Yeah, because we're all on Sam's plan.
Yeah. And you know what? I played it once and put it back in the box.
Like genuinely, I'll say this. The tech itself is decent. It's just that we are not ready for a cloud-only platform.
Yeah. You're getting there. But
the infrastructure just isn't there.
Yeah.
I still buy most of my games physical copies. So.
I mean, same. So...
You need to come to the digital world, guys.
No.
I have not bought a disc copy since last gen. No, to be fair, the only thing I buy actual physical copies is Switch. But that's only because I like the little cartridges. I don't know why. But it's better than
this
discs.
is a PSA for everyone to lick their nearest Switch cartridge.
Everyone's got to do it at least once.
Yep.
It's a rite of passage.
Just once. I mean, yes, just once. Yes.
Or is there like every Switch game you get? Like...
Yeah, have to christen every new game to like, what does this one taste like?
Maybe it's slightly different.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Anyway, we're going to leave it there because there's not really much else to talk about. It was better than the year before, which is why this podcast has gone on half an hour longer than last year's. Hopefully it gets even better as it goes on. Hopefully they bring back the Birmingham one.
If you like indie games, I'd definitely recommend going. But if you wanted there to be the big, here's your AAA announcement, here's the first playable demo of Final Fantasy 16, it's not for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unless you're like there for hardcore. If you're a hardcore Sonic fan and you see that announced, then you have to play Sonic. Then I guess go. You know. But yeah, definitely if you like just trying out stuff that you have never heard of before, just to see whether you like it or not, I guess.
If you got a Steam gift card for your birthday, this is the place to go.
I mean, hell, let EGX or WASD, like, I'm sure that
I might try that next year.
It was good.
Because that's
I enjoyed
replaced
it last time.
Res, right, in the tobacco docks.
Unofficially, yes. Yeah.
From the people who
is that another one where Reed Pop left the void and
like
someone
MegaCon?
Went,
yes. Yeah,
legit. Basically.
It's legit that, yeah. But like, I heard it was good last year, so I might try it.
Yeah, I had fun up there. Yeah.
Always good to go to these different kind of events.
Yeah. For sure. We can't all... It's good. I'm glad that not all the events are Reed Pop. Although most of them are.
A good few are, yeah.
Yes, too many.
Even the ones you don't
I'm annoyed that Star Wars Celebration is, because I am worried for it. And the amount of money I spent on that, I am concerned. But hopefully it's okay.
Enough of
And TFL, if you're watching, if you could open the Elizabeth line on a Sunday, that's really useful for Excel events.
I can't believe... Is it always closed on a Sunday then?
It is. I think it's until November. So even for London Con, it's closed on the Sunday.
I was lucky I could get that Monday on the train because like a bunch of train strikes are happening. But luckily, I managed to get back. Fuck.
So yeah, TFL if you're watching.
London problems. Anyway, we'll leave it there. If you happen to go EGX, let us know what you think and what your favourite game was and whether Sonic was buggy for you at the start. And like and subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.
Enjoy the end card that needs to be re-recorded.
Nope, I'm going to use this one as the end card. Bye.